Hello and a very warm welcome to the coverage of the Shortmap Players Tour European Masters Final 2015 from the Vossenborg Sports Hall here in Herentals, Belgium. Let's have a look at our two finalists. First up we've got 46-year-old Gary Moore from Ireland. Gary currently sits 27 in the world rankings and this is his first SMPT final appearance. His best performance prior to this was the last 16 stage here 12 months ago. And playing Gary in the final is former world number one, 49-year-old Joel Hager of Sweden. Joel, currently ranked 8th, is making his second SMPT final appearance, following his 10-6 defeat by Jonathan Payne at this tournament in 2012. So there we go, that's your two finalists for you. Let's head over to the mat now, and it's Gary to lead us off on the first end. So here we are then, the final of the European Masters 2015 from the Vossenborg Sports Hall in Herentals. Gary Moore against Joel Hager. Your referee for the match is Phil Mills and umpire Craig Burgess. Gary's leading off for the first bowl on this first end. The usual 12 ends for our singles events. Will be interesting to see how Gary gets on with his lignoids on these mats. They're fairly pacey, and of course the lignoids do tend to swing a bit. Joel, of course, his opponent is playing with Taylor aces, so won't swing as heavily as the lignoids. Joel, of course, will be favourite for the match, making his second SMPT final appearance. He did play here in 2012 and lost out to local Jonathan Payne in the final. Gary's first appearance at an SMPT final. His best result so far, last 16 in this event last year. Gary draws shot there. Still a bit of turn on that hand. The other match going on in the background is the bronze medal match between Sieber from Belgium, the youngster, against Paul Pomeroy. UK Open runner-up this year, having a great season so far. Our focus though will be on this main final, who will take away the trophy and the top prize. You'd have to favour Joel, he's got plenty of experience at these events. Just drawing through, might drop in for shot. Bit of a cagey first end. Players getting used to the turn on these mats. Gary will look to try and just draw one close. Is out wide. Just sailing through though, I think, there. So Joel will come down to check to see who's holding. Joel, of course, making it through to this final, beating Paul Pomeroy, this season's UK Open runner-up, 12-6. And Gary got the best of Sieber with an 11-8 victory in the other semi-final. Joel's trying to play down through this jack, take it back for a full house, just underneath it. So the players will have a look, but it could be a measure on this first end. Gary's asked for the measure, so we'll check. Here is the umpire Craig Burgess. And there we go, Craig signals 1 to Gary, so that's the first end, and Gary leads 1-0. And Gary sticking to the short jack length, probably wise with a turn on his bowls. Some better start from Gary there. Good front toucher. Nudges the jack back. Joel drawing one down on the backhand. Look to just drag the jack or disturb the bowl. Little push, but not quite enough. As you can see there, Joel's bowl did finish quite a way away. Bit of a swing late on that hand. Gary draws up. Touch on his bowls, got it covered, but it's probably widened the target. Joel sticking with a slight overdraw. A good covering bowl at the back for any movement. You think holding the 2 shots, Gary will now look to cover that last bowl of Joel's. Yeah, it's quite wide down on the forehand. Just going to sneak around, which it does. That's a fairly good position there. Don't forget that while our tournaments are playing, you can keep bang up to date with all the results and the live feed as it happens. Just visit shortmatplayerstour.com, and on the home page will be the live feed. Joel now drawing down on the backhand again. Just through again. Joel does prefer the draw bowl. He's very good at it. Just slightly through with those. You wonder whether he might play a bit of weight with the last bowl. Gary sticking to the forehand. Good wide bowl again, needs to be out wide. It's coming back, and this looks like the 3rd shot. Yep, 3 count to Gary, so a strong start from Gary. And what will Joel do? Got a favour in maybe playing through now. And he switches to the forehand, just going to draw to save. It's going to be close, just creeping around the corner. It's a great effort, great effort. Phil Mills has a look. Wait for Joel to come and have a look too. Could be close for shot. That's one to Gary, and they're looking at the second. As for the measure, so Craig will come on and do another measure. 1 so far for Gary. Craig goes back to check Joel's bowl. And it is Joel's bowl, so it's just the 1 to Gary. So after 2 ends, Gary leads 2-0. It's a good start from the Irishman. Had some good bowls that last end. We'll now look to build on that. Yes, another fine touch. Joel, you'd fancy we'll be looking to pinch an end here, and then I'd fancy he'd probably look to change the jack length. And he's got to try and win the end first. Just overdraws through. I think Gary will switch hands here. No, he sticks with the backhand. He's got to be careful he doesn't nudge it out, but I think he's just going to draw past here to cover Joel's shot bowl, or first bowl, which he does. And there's a touch from Joel, a good bowl in the end, has nudged the jack out into the open. Toucher by the ditch. Still one shot to Gary. Again, Gary sticks with the backhand. Yeah, just pushed it wide there. He's got to be very wide with the jack off centre. I wonder whether he might sneak around his own on the forehand side. Joel now also switching to the backhand. Yeah, looks pretty close, this one. Yeah, it's a great front toucher from Joel. Puts him in a strong position. Surely Gary now will probably switch. No, he's sticking to the backhand, I think. Yep. Try and draw the shot or sit in for second bowl. Yeah, it's a fair effort. It's a good cover. So it looks like Joel will be off and running. Can he add another with his last bowl? It's on a fair line again. Just needs to creep round his own, which he does. Yeah, it's an excellent ball. And that's 2 shots to Joel. So after 3 ends, it's 2 shots each. That was a good draw there from Joel. Needed to get another one in there, and he did just that. So, will he change the jack length now? Let's see. Marker Phil Mills. Yep, it's gone to, well, 3/4 length, almost full length. So this will be a test for Gary now with his lignoid bowls. Joel will look to take advantage here, I'm sure. As I say, Joel's looking to get his hands on his second piece of silverware of the season, following his captaincy of the Swedish team in the World Cup with their narrow 1-shot victory over England back in August. And he now makes the final of the European Masters. So Gary's had to give it a lot of green there. It's coming back well. Yeah, just nudged the bowl. Was unlucky there, really. Joel looked to sit his own bowl. I'm sure it's just going to slide round. Oh, got a touch. Yeah, fancy a touch more weight from Gary, maybe to try and drag the jack through, but he's just reaching up here. Just under, but another back bowl, so he could look to be positive. Joel's got to look to turn his own bowl through or just draw past. He's switching to the backhand. I think that's going to swing a bit. So will Gary play through this? Yep, he's having a go now. Could be a touch wide though. No. Oh yeah, he's just caught his own bowl out. Just a bowl wide really, held with a touch of weight there. Joel will be relieved, I'm sure. We'll just look to widen his draw here. Wants to sit on Gary's back bowl there. Just round it, I think, but yeah, it's a good spot now. Gary just overdrawing now. Fairly close, but just dived under. Actually, that bowl's gone away quite a lot, so depending on the position of Gary's back bowl there, we could be looking at 2 or 3 here. Yep, he's conceded the 3 shots. So, after 4 ends, Joel leads 5-2. So a good start from Gary, 2-0 up after 2 ends, but Joel's come straight back into it. Again, we've got the 3/4 length jack. I think this will play to Joel's advantage here. Gary really does have to give it a fair bit of green with his bowls. You fancy he might look to start being a bit more attacking if Joel is getting close. Unfortunately, Joel's so good at the draw. His favoured type of play. He is so good at that deadweight draw. Yeah, got a touch, yeah. And if the ball falls down, which it does, so he holds 2 shots with a good toucher. Yeah, Gary sticking to the backhand again. He's got to give it so much green. If it sits on the back, it's good. That's not a bad spot to be in, but you'll fancy Joel will draw another one in here. Just diving under the line, but far enough away to not really be of help to Gary. Gary is sticking with his backhand. He's reaching a bit more now, as I thought he might. Yep, he's got the contact, and he'll be holding shot, so it's a good result. There was room for a draw down on the forehand side, but he's obviously decided he's going to stick on the backhand, play a bit of weight. And it's 1 shot. Now the question is, can Joel see that bowl? If he can just push it dead, he'll sit 3, probably 4 shots. He's just drawing through there, so he perhaps can't quite see enough of it. Let's just flick the bowl there. So Gary, you'd favour holding 1 here. Can he make it 2? Yeah, looks to be on a good track. Has he got the weight to get down through the gap? He's chasing it up, but it's just short. So Joel will have a quick look here. Yep, he takes a 1 shot out for Gary. So after 5 ends, Joel leads 5 shots to 3. So you'll fancy Gary will put a short jack back here. He's got to look to claw a couple of shots back, get back in the match as we approach the halfway stage. Yep, straight back to a short jack. Yeah, it's a fair start, still turning a bit. That looks like a good line from Joel. Just needs to run on, which it does, and sat nicely behind. Gary sticking with the backhand. Wider line this time. Could sit on Joel's bowl, which it does. And he holds the 1 shot. Joel looks close. Will it hold on? Found the gap. And the marker fill favours the last bowl. Gary, you'd think we'd probably look to switch hands here. Rest on Joel's bowl or just edge a jack across to his own. Prefers the backhand side to draw, but he's going to stick with that. So he's got to try and find the gap between the jack and his own bowl. He's close to the jack. Yeah, he's drawn the shot bowl. Much narrower line from Joel, overreaching. Yeah, he's got the shot bowl out. It's a good bowl. Surely Gary's got to switch now. Yep, he's down the forehand side this time. Still needs to give it a fair bit of green, which he has done. He should swing across now, needs to run. Yes, a superb ball from Gary. Picks up the jack for 2 shots. Some applause from the crowd. And Joel's coming down to have a look now to see how it lies. That was a good ball by Gary there. Had to give it plenty of green still, but played a great trail to sit 2 shots. And Joel has a little wander around with his arms behind his back and got the shot set in his mind. One of the most laid-back characters you're ever likely to meet on a bowls mat. Straight down, quick delivery. Fair bit of green. Will it peg enough? Oh, touched the second bowl but just edged through, so you'd favour 2 shots for Gary here. Just wait for Joel to come up to confirm. There it is. Yep, 2 shots to Gary Moore. So at the halfway stage, the match is tied at 5 shots each. So will Gary look to push on from now, set his normal short jack. Just slightly tight line there, missed the touch on the jack. Joel sticking to the backhand for a draw. This looks pretty good. Will it just run that bit? Just short of jack high, so Gary with an opportunity to just trail through round to his own bowl. Oh, just pushed it too wide. Joel is straight down through. Yeah, switching hands and finishing a good spot. It's a good cover bowl. Gary again, pushing it out wide. Just lost his bowl again, so 2 in a row. You feel he has to be out wide though to allow the bowls to swing back. So it gives Joel that slight advantage in the match. He's using Taylor aces as opposed to Gary's lignoids, as we've said. So can Gary make amends with this bowl? He's got to draw at least second bowl here, you'd feel. This is just going to peg, or is it going to hold? Yes. Very good result. Unfortunately it fell over really, because that's probably made it an easier tap back now for Joel to push it into his own 2 bowls. Yeah, straight down for it. And it looks pretty close. Oh, and he's got the trail through as well. What a great bowl by Joel. And that's a big 3 shots. Yeah, superb bowl there. I thought he'd probably get 2, but his ran through just nice as well. So after 7 ends, that's taken Joel out to a 3-shot lead, and he leads 8-5. Yeah, once again, Joel's going for the longer length. Can he turn the screw now, turn up a gear? Looking for his maiden singles victory on the tour. Gary's on the narrower line there, just going to dive under Joel's bowl. Will it stick on? It's fallen off. He's got to give it so much green. And Joel with a little edge off his own. Bit of a target though. I think Gary might look to just play down through again. It's coming down the backhand. Jackal bowl here's a good result. Yep, he's having a reach through. It's close. Oh, just missing. And the bowl ends up in the ditch. So Joel will look to secure the position of this jack now. Wants to turn it around the corner. Put the pressure on Gary. Well, it's just held off, but he's got a good back bowl now. Gary really needs to get a bowl in the head here. Closer with this. Yeah, it's a good bowl. Yeah, he's fallen away for second bowl, but it's a good touch in the head. Joel's reaching through, looking to take the jack through, is he? And what a bowl it is. That was a brave bowl holding shot, and with Gary with a back bowl, if the jack had just split the other way, it would have probably been one down, but he's secured the shot. Now will Gary look at his toucher, or is he just going to try and find the gap? He's down the backhand, so he'd favour a beyond for his toucher here. He is. Tight, I think, on the line. Oh, edges out and away. So that's 2 shots to Joel. And after 8 ends, his lead extends to 10 shots to 5. So 2 individual good bowls in the last 2 ends has gained Joel 5 shots, and leading 10-5 now. He'll look to turn the screw again, you'd feel. At this point you really feel Gary needs to score on this end to get himself back in the match with only 4 ends remaining, including this one. Just short of jack high with that, might just make Gary draw, but he's coming down. Now he's having a look at this. Oh, he's caught the block. Fancied his chances on the backhand there, just to run the jack through. Just flick the block. Once again, Joel's got to look to tidy this jack up. He's on a good track for it. That's a great bowl. Just touches it round the corner and finishes past. Pressure really now on Gary. Just diving short. Joel on that wider line again, will look to hook right back. Just through the head, but it's a good strong position. And when you're 5 shots up, with a good shot bowl, the pressure's definitely on your opponent. Gary here really needs to get one close. He's closer this time. Will he lift the bowl? He has. Oh, it's just fallen down. Great effort from Gary there. Good second bowl though. But he'll have to convert it with his last bowl, you feel, to have any chance. Joel switching hands. He's playing a positive bowl through. Oh. He edges Gary's onto the jack and has probably made 2, maybe 3 from it. Bold move, but he's certainly turned his performance up in the last few ends. Again, now it's tricky for Gary to get in here. Slide tight of Joel's bowl, or maybe even push his own through. We will see. Oh, he's unlucky and has caught Joel's bowl instead of his own. So this could be 3 shots. And if it is, Joel has one hand on the trophy. Gary comes to have a look. 2 out. Yep, 3 it is. So Joel extends his lead further to 13 shots to 5 after 9 ends. So it's a crucial end. Gary must score on this end. If he drops a further shot, it will be match over with 2 ends to play. So Joel, you'll feel, would look to just draw one as close as he can. Put the pressure straight onto Gary. Yeah, just through, but a good spot. It's been a great effort from Gary. He's had some superb victories along the way over the last 2 days, and significant improvement on his previous best performance in an SMPT singles, but has come up against a great player in Joel Hager, lots of experience, and you just feel with Joel using the ace against the lignoid, he's just making the best of the conditions with a longer jack. Gary's fighting hard and will do all the way. Again, there's a good line, but just over the weight from Gary. Some looser bowls this end, but Joel looking to make an amends with his 3rd bowl. I think he has. Just dived under. Holds the 1 shot though. Gary drawing in. That's just too far, you'd feel. So will Joel draw close? He's just through, but you favour that he's holding 1 here at least. So Gary, possibly with 1 bowl left, has got to make something work. He's coming up to have a check of the head. And this could be your last bowl of the European Masters final. So here we go. It's coming down the backhand. Will he reach or just look to overdraw? He's having a play at it. Needs to get the bowl. He's missed it. So it's 1 shot to Joel. They're going to go and check. Yeah, that's it. It's a shake of the hands from Gary, and Joel is the 2015 European Masters champion by 14 shots to 5. A superb effort from Gary, but Joel's experience and the use of the mat just sort of told in the end, really. Fine effort from both players. Gary, I'm sure, will be delighted with his performance to make the final. But that is Joel Hager's first SMPT victory, and I'm sure he's delighted with that. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage, and we'll see you at our next event.